Hey y'all, my name is Nick and I travel across North America in search of dark history locations as well as famous graves. And in today's video, we are checking out two Bonnie and Clyde locations right here in Texas. Not graves, not museums, but actual ground that they used when they were on the run. The first place we're going to is in Conroe, Texas, which is about an hour north of Houston. And we're going to check out one of Bonnie and Clyde's famous campsites, as well as where the old Bonnie and Clyde bridge was. Then we're going to head back up here towards Dallas and Irving, Texas, and check out one of their famous escape routes, an Eagle Ford Road. Now, these locations aren't polished tourist stops. They're rough, they're real, they're muddy, they're dirty, and which makes it much better. I'm so excited to bring you all along. It's about a 3-hour drive to Conroe, Texas. There is a Buc-ee's along the way, so I'm going to make a 30-second stop there, and then we'll head to the first spot and then come back up. So I'm excited to have you join me. Let's begin. All right, y'all, we have made it to the town of Conroe, Texas. After a 3-hour drive, basically on the dot. I parked at a park directly across the street from the bridge. This is called MacDade Park, M-C-D-A-D-A-D-E. That's how you spell it. If you want to come visit here for yourself and find out where to park. It looks like the bridge is literally right across the highway, and I think there's paths that we can take to get there. So let's go explore. I've never been here before, so you're going to experience it with me for the first time. Yeah, literally parks right here. And it looks like the bridge right over yonder. Also looks like there's a bunch of hiking trails throughout this park, but goal for today is the bridge. Oh, it does look like there's a path. Fun fact, back in the Bonnie and Clyde days, Depression era, bridges were very common for temporary hideouts. Outlaws, obviously, like I said, Bonnie and Clyde, drifters. Not to mention the fact that you had shade, you know, from the very harsh Texas heat, especially down here near the Houston area. You had, you know, a source of drinking water, not that it was great water by any means, but source of water. And ultimately, nobody would ever really find you unless they were specifically looking for you in this area. Now, goal is to see how far we can get down there. It's highly muddy, as you could see. It just rained pretty darn good yesterday, so interested to see how this goes. Now, which way do I go? Because I definitely don't want to go through that. So I try to go around this way or down by the water because I want to get to the old bridge, which is straight ahead. Decided to go up further, but glad I wore the boots because this is highly muddy. Well, I feel like an idiot. I could have just walked across the street and went down this path. So now you know. Let me clarify something before we get to the spot where we're going today. The original Bonnie and Clyde Bridge is no longer here. It was destroyed about a year or two ago in a flood. It was originally placed, as you can see, between the new bridge and the train tracks that we will be right by. Also, when I get down there, we're in the general campsite area, but probably where Bonnie and Clyde would hide out under that original bridge is to the left of me. I'm going as close as I can. The water's a little bit high and the bank is too steep and there's really no place to stand or walk down there. So I'm going as close as I can, and keep in mind this is still the general campsite of Bonnie and Clyde. See if we can get down there without falling. Because it is muddy. All right, we made it. Holy cow. Ooh, shit. Oh, man. Look at that. Oh, I just slid right down there. Oh man. Okay, I gotta really watch. Let's go up here because this is. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't know. Boots do not have good. Cowboy boots do not have good traction. Ugh. Okay. Huh? That's gonna be fun getting the mud off there after. Well, you guys are getting a first-hand look of what sometimes goes on when you're filming out on location. So yeah, don't go down there. But as I was going to say before the slippage, this, if I don't fall, this is the old one of many Bonnie and Clyde's campsites when they were down in this area in Texas. It is documented that at times this is where they would go camp out. I'm sure it was just as muddy too. Definitely hidden from the road view. Not only that, but you can hear if a car is approaching. And as you can see, you know, back that way through the water, there's just multiple escape routes if needed, but I don't think anyone was seeing them under here, especially in the middle of the night. And if you think about it too, even when Bonnie and Clyde were here, they never stayed long in one place. Their survival really depended on constant movement. You know, quick stops like this weren't comfort. They were more so strategy. You know what always stands out to me with Bonnie and Clyde, especially when you see like real locations like this, is really how ordinary these locations are. I mean, you know, the movies, especially the movies in Hollywood, make them to be like they stayed in these great places and this and that, and they live this crazy lifestyle. But, you know, at the end of the day, they were really like poor, just getting by, you know, eating beans and hot dogs out of cans, relieving themselves in the woods here, drinking this type of water. It wasn't a glamorous lifestyle by any means. That's just what Hollywood comes to make out of them. But no, this is the reality of where they camped, in the mud under the stars. And you know something else too, not only were they sleeping here, but oftentimes they slept in cars. If you can imagine just constant paranoia. Actually, as the years went by and when Bonnie and Clyde were on the run, I should say the months, because they really were only on the run for 2 years, but especially Bonnie Parker, she began to drink very heavily. And when I was reading Blanche Barrow's book, she said Bonnie was like drunk most of the time, and it was just to mentally get through what they were going through, the constant paranoia, you know, constantly having to sleep with guns and that right by them. It's just it was a very hard, difficult lifestyle that they put themselves in. I think it was 2024 maybe. I'll have to find the news clip, and if I find it, I'll put it in here for you. But the bridge, there was a flood here, and the bridge actually collapsed into the water. And the news crews got footage of it. So if I can find that, I'll put it in right now.
Floodwaters continue to recede in Montgomery County after last week's heavy rains. Air 11 was over FM 2854 in Conroe earlier today. This is where floodwaters from the San Jacinto River washed away what's referred to as the Bonnie and Clyde Bridge. You can see the remains of that bridge are still there, and the river is well within its banks.
All right, now let's see if I could get out of here without sliding. I'm definitely taking that other road back though. Man, we made it out of the jungle. It's gonna be fun to get my boots cleaned. I'll tell you that much. Look, there's a little puddle, like washing my boots. Walked out there, huh? It's definitely getting toasty. And I'm thankful. Always bring an extra pair of sneakers. Okay, so where I'm taking you guys to next is the exact opposite direction where I came from. We're going 3 hours north back to my hometown of Dallas, Texas. Actually, we're going to Irving, which is 30 minutes west of Dallas about. We are going to check out Old Eagle Ford Road, one of Bonnie and Clyde's very much used, frequently used escape routes. And I've been there before, but it's been at least 2 years. So I want to take you guys there, since that there's a bridge, and Bonnie and Clyde used to meet their family and friends there on occasion. And it ties in with this bridge. So let's drive 3 hours north again, head back to Dallas, Texas. And you know, these small Bonnie and Clyde forgotten places like the one we're heading to Bonnie and Clyde and the Barrow Gang, these locations mattered more than anything else, because their number one fear was being caught. All right, we have made it to Irving, Texas. Wow. And it poured this morning, as you can see. We're at the Irving Golf Club, and definitely closed, but we have a good about a mile walk that way, somewhat through the woods. And in case you were wondering, no, I really did not drive down to Houston and, well, Conroe, Texas, and drive all the way back the same day. I stayed in Houston for a few days, and now on my way back home this morning, but had to stop here. So I thought it was gonna be a little bit warmer. Wore my shorts, and no, it's actually pretty cold, but like I said, I do have a mile walk. So geographically, to give you an idea of where we are, if you look straight ahead, and I'll zoom in, that is Reunion Tower in Dallas. It's Dallas city skyline, and some of the famous bridges that you always see with the skyline are right there. So it gives you an idea of, you know, where Bonnie and Clyde were, and then how they would use this road as an escape route from the city. If you've watched my 3-part Bonnie and Clyde series where I take you through Dallas and visit their locations, you may remember or be like, Nick, this location does look familiar, and that's because it is. In the final episode, part 3, we did go down. I didn't show much of the road, but we went down to the bridge, and it's been about 2 years since I've been here, and I also made a mistake in that video, so I want to correct myself once we get to that spot today. But yeah, I figured since this video is about the campsite hideout, might as well be good to add in what it looks like today, the Bonnie and Clyde famous escape route here outside of Dallas. So without further ado, let's begin our hike. There's an idea of basically straight away how far we have to walk. Said it's probably about a mile. Before we really continue, let's go down here and show this bridge. Very wet, slippery. Now this bridge, from what I've seen online, 1,000% was here when Bonnie and Clyde would drive on this road. It's not by any means a Bonnie and Clyde bridge, if you will, but it was here, and it looks like it's 100 years old. I mean, how cool is this? Take away the Bonnie and Clyde aspect and the fact that they would drive across this bridge on this escape route here, but just for the bridge to still be here next to a golf course, out of all places. There's definitely no one golfing today, that's for sure. Even when I was driving down here, gosh, Texas roads are not built for rain, so when it does rain heavily, everything floods, and you get all these hydroplaning car accidents because everything just floods. You know, when you think about the Bonnie and Clyde story, I don't think it's, from their perspective, it wasn't so much about the destinations, where they're going. The big thing was the escape routes, you know, especially for Clyde, who was always driving. How to get out of here, how to get out of this situation, how to get out of Dallas. This road right here. It's said that Clyde Barrow was known for memorizing back roads and routes, and just like this. And he didn't just drive, you know, to drive. He knew what he was doing. I don't think anyone would say otherwise. He was a really good driver, and he drove tactically. Wow, look how flooded this is here. Yeah, Texas is usually pretty dry, as you can imagine. Not today. You know, something we should keep in mind too as we're walking this path, like you see the highways right there today. We have a golf course to our left. Back then, this was all heavily wooded area, and this was a dirt road, obviously not paved like it is today, but what we're coming up to, this will give us the best idea of what it would have looked like back in the 30s when Bonnie and Clyde used this road. Now this here looks about as close as it would have looked like back in the 30s. You can see to the left, to the right, everything's moved out a little to make way for this trail. But, you know, this is the view Bonnie and Clyde would have had just with a dirt road. And it was the perfect escape route. Dallas is that way, you know, very in the back way, in the back roads. That's why they used it. I remember the first time we got here, and I was like, oh, we're here already. That didn't feel like a mile. It's because it's not. This is almost like a tease, this first bridge here. But no, we still got a little bit to go ahead. Now, I don't know for fact if this bridge was here when Bonnie and Clyde were driving this road. Almost looks like it could be, just based on how old it looks, but not sure. But this is not our final destination. I can see it off in the distance, but we still got a little bit to walk. Sometimes when I come out here and film these old Bonnie and Clyde locations, I kind of like to try the best that I can to put my mind in their shoes and think about what they were going through. I mean, if you think about it, the law enforcement pressure was building, especially like 1931, 32, 33. They were on the run for about 2 years, but you can imagine too, where law enforcement knew Bonnie and Clyde were, the roads they would use, roadblocks were becoming much more common, and that's why Clyde had to find roads like this that weren't as well known. But Clyde's advantage for sure was the way he drove, speed, and route knowledge, especially here in the Dallas area. I'm sure he knew these roads like the back of his hand, you know. As the years went by, the chase between the Barrow Gang law enforcement was really turning into a multi-state manhunt. It wasn't just Texas anymore. They were known in, you know, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri for sure with the Joplin shootout. I was there. Platte City outside of Kansas City, I was there as well. And every escape, you know, raised the stakes and the violence. By the time it was Bonnie and Clyde's final year alive, they weren't just wanted criminals, they were wanted for federal crimes. So, you know, as you can imagine, they had to constantly be on the move. Their hideouts, their campsites and this and that, very short term. They wouldn't stay any place too long. And these escape routes, you know, just became more prominent. They needed them to just get in and out of town. It doesn't seem to be here anymore, but I remember when I was last here about 2 years ago, there was a sign, an old sign that it just, you know, it said like Old Eagle Ford Road. And they showed a picture of what it would have looked like back then, this being all dirt, you know, on the tree line, a little bit closer. But I have not seen it. I think it was right around here last time, so. Oh, we're getting right there, close to the end. Now, before we make our way to the bridge, well, I should say the final third bridge on this journey today, one of the key things about this location, specifically where I am now. I don't know if it's exactly here or down that way or up that way a little bit, but this road in this exact area, it is documented that at times Bonnie and Clyde would meet their families right here. And I'm gonna throw a photo in now, but it is widely believed that this very photo was taken somewhere on this road, off to the side, perhaps even where I'm standing today. And I just think, you know, even that piece of it is absolutely mind-blowing to know that where we're standing today, the Barrow Gang, you know, Clyde met up with his parents, his sisters. Bonnie met up with her mom. It's just, it's crazy. Crazy stuff. That was a long way we just walked. Probably doesn't seem for you guys, probably seems like 5 minutes. And if you go this way, the road continues, but we've made it to our final destination here. Iron Bridge at Eagle Ford Crossing. So we're gonna read the sign, talk about some stuff, and then head on out. So according to the sign, Eagle Ford Road Trail began in Dallas, across West Fork, Trinity River, near Singleton Boulevard. That's where the Barrow Gang, or the Barrow filling station was. The ford in the river got its name, yada yada yada. During the 1930s, Bonnie Parker of the notorious Barrow Gang wrote a poem about this crossing. The 13th stanza from the poem, The Trail's End, reads, check this out. From Irving to West Dallas Viaduct is known as the Great Divide, where the women are kin and the men are men, and they won't stool on Bonnie and Clyde. Cool. The Great Divide that Bonnie refers to in her poem is the area from the former bridge here at Eagle Ford Crossing to the Viaduct Bridge in Dallas, now called the Continental Avenue Bridge. Bonnie Parker, Clyde Barrow, and their gang used the Iron Bridge at Eagle Ford Crossing to make their getaways from Dallas police into the mostly rural Irving countryside. Today, when standing on the bank, you can still see a concrete piling from the old Iron Bridge on the opposite side of the West Fork. So this is put here in 2015. When I was here in doing my Bonnie and Clyde 3-part series, we did come to this bridge. Now, my mistake that I was called out on, multiple people in the comments, especially the locals and this and that, they said this is not that bridge. And you know, me, this is my first time being here. When I filmed that series, I just assumed from the sign there that this was the bridge, because there's 3 bridges like this. This is the 3rd one we just passed, and the sign's right there, so you would think this is that bridge, but no, it's not. But let's go see what's up ahead here. And that's the end of the trail this way. Yeah. So, correcting myself from that series, not the original bridge that is in that photo. From what I've gathered in previous comments I've received, that bridge is no longer a thing. It's long gone. But nonetheless, I wanted to come out here and correct myself and give you guys another view of what this looks like today. You know, one of the coolest things for me when I visit the real places like this, it becomes more real. It's not just the headlines, the Bonnie and Clyde movies. These are, real roads, real terrains, places that, were a part of their real life story. And I think a lot of us get caught up in the Bonnie and Clyde story, the myth, the fairy tale. And when you visit these places, especially like the campsite, you realize that it wasn't all flash and easy for them. It was a lot of really tough times. And always being on watch, always being on guard. You know, you get a whole new perspective of what was going on in their lives. And, you know, don't get me wrong, I'm not fantasizing or hyping up Bonnie and Clyde in any way. All I enjoy doing is visiting these real life dark history locations. And since I'm a Dallas resident, I get out here when I can to visit the real life, you know, places. And I enjoy bringing y'all along, and I know a lot of you enjoy my Bonnie and Clyde stuff, so it's been fun doing locations like this. I hope y'all enjoyed this little adventure with me. If you want to continue watching more of my Bonnie and Clyde videos, make sure you check out my Bonnie and Clyde playlist, my dark history playlist you may enjoy, as well as famous graves. Lastly, I would like to thank my channel members. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. If you would be interested in becoming a channel member, it's very easy. YouTube makes it. Just click the join button. Join our Beyond the Grave community. You get behind the scenes videos that I can't share publicly, behind the scenes photos. We do polls. I do bi-weekly behind the scenes videos, and it really supports the channel financially. So if interested, I hope you consider joining, and I'll see you all in the next adventure. Thanks for joining me on another Bonnie and Clyde video. I'll see y'all next time.